Wow, so yeah, it's so surprising that one of these videos is coming out again so soon. Yeah, so welcome back, everyone. Yeah, that is of course right. Uh, it's time for another video. So this one is going to be interesting. So it's really just let's just count down more of the games I've completed this year, and uh, this is of course going to be part 2 out of 4. So, of course, just in case you have not seen the original videos, let me just make it clear that this is games that I'm counting if it's the first time I've completed them or as a new experience. So, if I had played the DLC this year, or if uh, it was a remake or a remaster that introduced a bunch of stuff. And it's really just to talk about which games I played. Now, of course, obviously, your discretion is advised because some of the games I've talked about do contain mature subjects, so most kids' games. This video is really only recommended for older audiences only, and also, I will not be showing all the covers of some of these games, or really, I could not really say the names of some of these, because, well, some of them are very questionable, and I honestly just don't want the headache that is labeling the video of having used AI, which, no, this video is not used AI, it's just some of these game covers were made with AI, and I just don't want to show them. So with that out of the way, I guess I'll be tackling the second part. And obviously, fair warning, some of these games are going to be honestly quite short and really just be, well, kind of just really kind of a quick discussion. So let's just get into the video. At number 71, we of course have Dragonstar Varna. So this was this was a really fun game. So I really picked this one up after completing Death and Request, and I wanted to say I think I had also completed Fairy Fencer. Yeah, I completed Fairy Fencer F before that. So I really only came across this game because I think I looked up more of Idea Factory's games. Because after completing Death and Request and Fairy Fencer, I'm like, yeah, I want to find other games that they've done, and so it led me to this one. Dragonstar Varna is a really fun game, and I'm really glad I got the chance to play it. I don't really have that much complaints about the game. Well, it's not as interesting as the ones before. It was still a really fun game to play, and I am really glad I got to play it, and I'm looking forward to playing through other games made from Idea Factory. And of course, moving on to number 72, we of course have Immortals of Avium. So another, well, EA game, but fun. So Immortals of Avium was a fairly interesting game. I had this one originally, I think, in 2024, but it wasn't until 2025 that I really played it again. It was on sale on Xbox, and I snagged it, and I'm honestly glad I did, because this is generally one of the best games of this generation, and it's sad just how underrated this was. Not much people really talk about it, and I've heard plenty of stuff about just how it wasn't the most fun thing, but I played it, and I thought it was a really interesting game, and I'm glad I was able to play it. I personally recommend this one, and hoping I'm hoping that we see uh, more of it sometime in the future. Next up is, of course, Sakura Alien. This was a visual novel, and also quite fun. It's about a guy who meets an alien and well, there's a lot of romance in it, and they kind of fall in love, and that's really pretty much just the visual novel. It's actually a really fun one. I think I got the platinum on it, and it was a standout among the games I've played this year. And then, of course, its sequel, Sakura Alien 2. It's the same thing with this one. This game is also very fun. It's pretty much just a sequel to this one, but yeah, and that's really it. There's not much I can really describe about this one, but overall, it was a fun game regardless, and uh, it was a standout among the ones I played this year. Next up, we of course got YS9 uh, Monstrum Nox. So this was my first YS game. Uh, I've been somewhat familiar with the series because I think I had YS8 downloaded from PS Plus one point. But yeah, so this was the first time I've played one of these games, and I'm kind of sad I missed out on it because it was generally a really fun game, and I went out and got 8 and 10 on on consoles, and I'm looking forward to being able to play through those ones. But YS9 was a really fun game. I wasn't really something I was expecting to enjoy that much, so it having that much of an impact made it it made it much more of a enjoyable experience in my opinion. And next up, we of course got Anime Uni 2. I don't know if the third one is on this list or if it was something completed earlier. Might have been. This was a puzzle game. It's really just that, it's not really anything to really write home about. Uh, so I guess moving on. Next up is of course Greedfall. So this was really fun. I've known about Greedfall since like 2023. Yes, it took 2 years, almost 2 years just to finish this one. So my first introduction to Greedfall was through Bound by Flame because I was enjoying it, and oh well, Greedfall was uh, on sale, so I picked it up at that time. But I didn't really complete it Bound by Flame, and so Greedfall kind of was on the back burner for a bit. I played it last year. It's honestly a fun game. I went out and got it on both PS4 and PS5, and wanted to get it on Series X, but unfortunately they sold out of that copy. But Greedfall was generally a really fun game. It wasn't something I was expecting to enjoy that much, but again, it makes it all that much better that it wasn't really something I had too high hopes for, but really just kind of went above and beyond to really provide a joyful experience. Then, of course, we got one that did surprise a lot of people, and, well, might actually surprise some people still. Final Fantasy 15. So, yeah, Final Fantasy 15. This was a game I've had for quite a bit, and it's the same issue with Greedfall. I just didn't play it because, I just didn't have interest at the game in time, which was sad because I played through 7 Remake and Rebirth along with 16, and nope, just didn't touch 15 for like another year. Which is kind of sad because the game itself is honestly really fun, and it was a huge standout among the games I played last year, and it made it even better because, well, this was two of my girlfriends, well, one of their favorite games, so playing this one made it worthwhile. I still have not done the DLC, but I've been looking forward to that. Because, well, I've actually have heard it's really good, and I'm hoping to re-experience this game sometime. Next up is, of course, Model Anomalies. This was another game that I kind of had back in 2023. This was one of the first games I got on. Actually, no, I think I got this on the Switch. Actually, no, I think I might have got this on PS4. Yeah, I think I was. No, I think it was the PS5. Yeah, it's my bad. Yeah, I had got my PS5 around that time. Picked this game up because it looked interesting. Eventually got rid of it, which was one of the stupidest decisions. But I find it on sale a bit later. Picked it up. Turned out to be one of the best games I've played. Like, it I really just don't think I can say enough about this game. It If you generally love JRPGs or RPGs in general, this game is generally going to be up your alley. I thought the story was really amazing, and I hope to see more from this developer in the future. Next up, Make Love Not War 2. It's another puzzle game. Nothing really much to say about this one other than just the fact that, I played the first one back in 2023. I got the platinum for both of these. It's a fun game if you're looking for an easy platinum, but if you're looking for something that will provide a quality experience, you're not really going to get much from this one. So moving on. Next up is, of course, Kawaii Puzzle Quest. Honestly, it's the exact same thing with the last one. It's alright. It's nothing really too interesting. And again, you're just going to get better experience from something else. Moving on to the next one. This is one of the games that I can't really give the full name of. Because, I don't want this video game, struck with anything. And I think it was one of the ones that did use AI. It's another puzzle game. It's nothing too interesting, but it is kind of lazy that they did use AI for it, especially because, there's a lot of stuff that you could generally have used for covers. But, of course, moving on. Soul Hackers 2. Yeah, again, this is another game that just never really got played, and I'm kind of sad about that because Soul Hackers 2 is actually a really fun game. Super underrated. If you've seen a few videos on this channel and on my main channel, you've known that we're quite a big Persona fan. And, obviously I've played a lot of games and I've reviewed quite a lot of them. I've even reviewed 2 of the animations. So there's a lot of hype going into this one. And it was a really fun game. I really did enjoy it. I went out and got it on as a physical, and I look forward to playing for more of it sometime. Next up, we of course have an interesting thing. Call of Glory Critical Warfare. This is just it's a game. The whole point of game is it's basically a multiplayer game with bots, and that's just really it with it. It's not offensively bad. It's not like they're charging $60 for it, but it's just something that you really. It's just kind of a warning sign. Just be careful what you get on the Switch. To be honest, I think that's really all I can really say for this one. Then of course, next up we of course have plenty of more puzzle games that I cannot even really say the name of. So right now we're on Game 85. This is another one that did use AI. The puzzles were fun, but again, this is kind of lazy that they did use AI. Then next up we of course have 86, which I did like. It didn't use AI this time, but it's nothing too particularly special. Same thing with, actually, I think 87, I don't even know if I can show. It's another puzzle game. It's not as bad as the previous one, but it did kind of look like they used a bunch of stolen artwork. In game 88, it's the same thing. It's no puzzle game. Same with 89 and 90. 91, 92, 3. Yeah, they're all essentially the exact same kind of games, and that's honestly really just it. There's nothing else I can say about them. The only thing I can say about them is like if you're on the Switch, they're on there, and I think we all know what games we're talking about. So I think this is 94, and so it's Beauty's Unveiled 2. This is essentially the same thing as Celebrities Hacked. It's just the same kind of gameplay, but with kind of different pictures. These games are kind of fun because they're a little more challenging than the normal puzzle games. It, it kind of feels like Pac-Man, but instead of ghosts chasing you, it's just the more so just going on a set path and you just have to avoid them. Overall, it's really fun. I don't really think I have too many issues with it. Uh, yeah. So next up, we of course have another one. This one's not entirely bad, but it's just really misleading. I mean, the title's misleading. Again, it's one of those puzzle games, but it's a golf game, and honestly, just kind of meh. Next up, we of course have Anime Dance Off Dungeons and Dances. This one I just kind of noticed could probably have used AI in the cover, so I'm not gonna show off any of these because yeah, this stuff does get difficult to tell. It's a dancing game. It's honestly pretty fun. You know, actually liked, I actually really liked these, and I had a lot of fun playing them on the Switch. Next up, we of course got Las Vegas. It's kind of the exact same one as the previous one, but just kind of a different setting. Then we got Total, which is literally the exact same thing but different settings. Then of course Ghost Party, which is well the exact same thing as those ones. Yeah, honestly, when I started this list, I don't think I ever said these were games of quality. But also, this is kind of a good warning to just really be careful on the Switch. Of course, game 100, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We're already at like 30 games, and it took like 17 minutes. Last time it took like 40 minutes. Okay, so this was a fun game. Some people might be looking at the screens right now and be like, Gills, what the hell? Why did it take you so long to beat this game? Well, technically, with beating this game, I could guess it's subjective. I mean, personally, in my opinion, it's just race on all the tracks, and that's really it, and that's what we did. And it's a fun game. It's our favorite Mario Kart, actually. This one was fairly fun. Uh, it's a huge upgrade compared to the Wii U version, and it got even better. Of course, speaking about better, technically, that's not game 101. Although, by this year's standards, it probably would have been because it's DLC and a new experience. But I counted it as game 100.5. The booster, uh, the booster course pass was actually really fun. There was a lot of new tracks introduced. No, there was a lot of tracks introduced with it, and overall, it made for probably the best Mario Kart experience we've had, which kind of made Will not having DLC and kind of being a little lackluster a bit disappointing. But you didn't hear that from me. Next up, you of course have Anime Dance Off Space Party and Anime Dance Off Around the World. I'm just gonna combine both of these because they're exactly the same games, but just with different settings. Nothing too special. And yeah, now that I think about it, I've done a really poor job at learning how to tell AI apart just because some of the stuff actually did look, some of the stuff actually generally did look way too similar to like actual art. Next up, South Park: The Stick of Truth. So I've had a very long history with this game. My first exposure to it was from, well, actually really like the season 17 episode. Uh, there was a season 17 episode where they're making fun of Game of Thrones as the Sony PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are coming out, and so the boys are divided on which console is the best to get. And it's basically South Park making fun of Game of Thrones. And so they made a game about it. It's also kind of a parody of Lord of the Rings and other fantasy stuff, which is a really fun game. I kind of gave it a low score, which in retrospect, yeah, I was getting a stick up my ass about that one. It's a fun game, and it was a huge standout among the games I played last year. It's filled with many great references to the show, and it's honestly really funny. I'm looking forward to the Thrash About Hole. I'm hoping it's as good as about that, but I already know I'm avoiding Snow Day. Then, of course, we have, well, another surprising game, Eyes, the horror game. So yeah, this was kind of a surprise. Technically, I've completed this game. Well, technically, I probably could have completed this game a while ago, but there was a bunch of new stuff that they added when it came to consoles, and yeah, so it was a fun game. I first found this one in high school, actually. It was a fun game. It was popular at the time with some YouTubers, and I still occasionally watch some of my old favorite YouTubers play it, just for the fun memories. And I've even played it once up on a channel, and I even plan to try to trophy hunt it at some point. Then, of course, we got another game that was fun, but in retrospect, I probably would have not picked up. And this one is, of course, Asbreed, which, yeah, I get. I kind of might have pronounced that wrong. Uh, this was I don't know how to describe this game, but it was fun for the most part. There were quite a few really frustrating parts, but overall, it was enjoyable. It's not too terribly long, which is kind of a good thing, but it's also just something that, honestly, it's just stuff that really just teaches me just to just be careful about what digital games you get. Just because you can get stuck with stuff that you really just don't enjoy. Thankfully, the next game was a lot better. Ao Oni, the Horror of Blueberry Onsen. Okay, honestly, um, everyone just needs to play this game. I'm just gonna start with that. Ao Oni is probably one of my favorite games. It was a standout among of not only the horror games I played last year, but also just in general. And I kind of bit my tongue right there. It's a really amazing game. It's it's about a bunch of stupid kids that go into a onsen and they're haunted by a monster. And after this, I generally think I might watch it. Watch a playthrough after this. This was what introduced me to the series. Although I did know about the Blueberry Monster before, I didn't really play anything about it. I don't even know how I found out about it. I think it was just like some random thing I came across one time. But it's definitely a really fun game to play and one I really just recommend. So next up, we of course have Dating Stories. This one used AI. It's another puzzle game, and that's honestly really it. And I almost dropped my phone. Also, yeah, I'm just now realizing I was terrible at telling AI apart. And of course, this could be a really perfect time for a sponsor, where I could just probably go on about, oh, you could download this just to tell AI. But I'm not sponsored. I would have been funny cutaway though. Then of course next up, we of course got Anime Girl Switch Puzzles. I'm a little disappointed with this one. there were no trophies, well, achievements. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Don't tell that to the fanboys, though. They'll probably just skip in. This was a puzzle game. It was actually fairly fun. Uh, I did enjoy this one for the most part, but again, I just feel like certain puzzles just could have. I just also feel like certain puzzles could have been a bit more interesting, per se, and there also could have been trophies too. Of course, it's not as bad as the next one. Mortal Kombat 5 Blackout. So, if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you would have known about what I dubbed as Kmart Call of Duty. Modern Kombat Blackout is just kind of. It's alright. I think it was a little too mean to it when I reviewed it, but I think the game does have some issues. I mean, for the most part, it's a really fun game. I mean, hey, they got a first-person shooter game on the Switch, and sure, nowadays you could just probably play a bunch of other first-person shooter games on the Switch that might just generally be a lot better. I mean, Crysis 2, Crysis 3, Call of Juarez, every Doom game, Wolfenstein, Bioshock, from what I've heard. Probably have like Far Cry on the Switch at this point. Borderlands. I mean, back when it first released, oh, and you also have Cyberpunk. At least that's on a Switch too. Okay, yeah, I lost track of what I was gonna say, but yeah, at least with this game, when it was actually on the Switch didn't really have that many first-person shooters on it, so I do get the appeal of that, and I still kind of do. It was a pretty somewhat decent game, but it also just felt like it could have been a little better. I don't know how good the multiplayer was because I never really played it because I just didn't bother about doing that because I'm like I don't want to spend money just to play this. I don't want to spend more money just to play this game. But the campaign was alright, and Spec Ops was also decent too. It's just kind of sucks that they really did hold back. It kind of sucks that they didn't hold back progression. Not to mention the fact that if you died, you just have to restart the entire game all over again. But, well, it's alright. Next up, we of course got Neko Suika Homecoming. So, I've played one of these games before. It's alright. This one's alright too. It's just another puzzle game. That's really it. Nothing too special, but it was just one I thought was fairly alright. So of course, moving on. Next up, we of course got Devil May Cry. So yeah, this was a interesting first game I played, and Devil May Cry was a fairly interesting game. I did have some issues with it when I did play it, but for the most part, it was pretty fun to play. I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job with the game, and I look forward to getting to play the other games at some other point. Next up is, of course, Red Bow. So, yeah, I got this because of Aoni. Yeah, Aoni kind of made me start looking at old, I guess more retro-looking horror games or other games. And this was kind of one that popped up. It's a really fun game. I actually really enjoyed this one. And so I'm actually glad I was able to play it. And I look forward to getting to review it sometime. Next up is, of course, Worse Than Death. Another wonderful game. I don't remember how I found this one, but I do remember I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a really fun game to play through, and I seriously recommend it to folk who haven't played it yet. Next up, we of course have The Gap. Another fun game. Kind of reminds me of Life is Strange with just kind of the gameplay. But it was a really great game. It's about a lot of sad stuff, and I actually kind of like it. the atmosphere is actually really good, and I don't want to give too much away, but I definitely do recommend this one to folk who are interested in those kinds of games, or if they're looking for kind of a surreal experience. The next up, we of course have anime Japanese Goblins. I am seriously so happy but so frustrated that this one is on the list. I'm happy because it took so long just to complete this one, but I'm angry because they made it so difficult to complete. It's not even like difficulty in like, oh, the puzzles are timed, or oh, you have limited movements. No, it's just like the final puzzle generally sucks, and I literally had to, in retrospect, maybe it's easier, like, because like you could just probably take pictures of it, like completed, and you know, and just take pictures of like you try and complete it and like probably just cross reference both of them. But yeah, that's honestly, I'd say that's really what I have to say about this one. It's honestly a fun game. I don't really have that many complaints about it, but I will definitely say it just. I also feel like it could have been something a lot better, to be honest. Then, of course, next up, we of course have Clock Tower Rewind. This was a really fun game. So, this has actually been on my mind for quite a bit, actually. Uh, I first found out about Clock Tower from one of Watch Mojo's videos. Yes, I know a lot of people hate them, but I actually really like these guys, and I used to watch the videos a lot when I was in high school, and they were talking about, I think they were talking about like horror games, and this one was actually on the list, and it actually really stuck with me. And like, I think like 10 years later, 11 years later, I think, it just gets announced that, oh, Clock Tower just is gonna get a port to modern consoles, which is absolutely amazing because, like, I don't know how rare this game is, but I know judging by the legacy this game left, it's going to be difficult to find. So it was really fun being able to. It was really fun getting to see this game again. Although I kind of got like one of the bad endings, I guess. It was still a really fun game though, and one I honestly personally recommend. I am so glad I got to play it, and I look forward to being able to play more from this series. Next up, we of course got Call of Horrors Gunslinger. Another fun game. This was actually my first introduction to the Call of Horrors series, aside from the Cartel, which I'll cover later. So this game is basically about cowboys. This one in particular is about a cowboy basically talking about his past and all sorts of stuff. It's a really fun game. I really did enjoy it. The gameplay was fun, and I'm glad I got to play this one. It kind of sucks that I never got a physical copy, but the other ones did. Even the one that came after this, which is just absolutely surprising. But fortunately, it was also released on the Switch, which was kind of nice. Next up, we of course have Halo 5 Guardians. Another Halo game. Of course, people probably wondering, why the hell have you not played Halo Reach 1 yet? You like literally played like the two newest installments. What the hell, woman? What the hell, girl? Um. So yeah. I like this game. I know a lot of people hate this one, along with Infinite, but I actually really did like this one. I know it's not the best game ever made, but I actually thought this one was pretty fun to play, and it got me looking forward to the other Halo games. I've played a bit of Halo 1, and so I'm looking forward to eventually being able to talk more about the games, and I'm looking forward to campaign Evolved, when it drops this year. And then, of course, next up, we of course have a old enemy, Mortal Kombat 1. Now, of course, me and the Mortal Kombat series go a long way back. And, well, I think the game's alright. I will definitely admit these games are not meant for me. Like far from that. Um, I had Mortal Kombat 1 and 11 for the longest time. I got stuck in them. I got stuck in them quite a few times, but I eventually was able to complete them, and I eventually kind of torched myself with more Mortal Kombat, and I've completed all the games in the series, which, in retrospect, well, all the mainline games. I kind of just skipped the Mythologies ones because I'm like, I generally just do not give a shit about those ones. Mortal Kombat 1 it's pretty fun. I will definitely say, I think the versus mode is the best mode of the game. The campaign, it's alright. It's nothing too special. The graphics are pretty fun. The cameos are nice. But I just feel like not playing these games for the story is probably the best experience to have. And then, of course, we got another Mortal Kombat after this. Mortal Kombat 11. Now, as you may have noticed, it was not talking about Chaos Reigns or Aftermath. Those ones I played actually this year in 2026, so they'll be on that list. 11 is pretty alright. I will definitely say I think one's probably the best of this series just in terms of gameplay. 11's not too bad, but again, I just don't think I have the patience to really want to appreciate these games just because they kind of a little tedious. I can respect them for what they were. It's just these games are generally really not for me, and I think it was obvious from the get go. I think it's controversial. This was not a bad game. Thief is a really fun game. I actually really enjoyed this one. I wasn't sure how I should have felt about it when I initially was playing it, but actually I really like it, and I like this one part where you're in like some underground part and there's like these creatures that's everywhere and you gotta avoid them. I think that's actually kind of cool. And the gameplay was also really fun too, along with the story. This was a honestly, this was quite the standout, and I'm glad I was able to get to play it. And yeah, personally think that I personally do recommend this one. This one I don't recommend. Loop is just God, it's okay. That's really all I can say about it. Mind Loop is not a terrible game. It's just the fact that it's just kind of boring. You're just trying to find anomalies in this hospital and turning back when you see them, and it's just repeating, and it's just really all that. And if you fail, well, the game essentially restarts. It's really it adds nothing of value. There's no cutscenes. There's not really much dialogue. There's really nothing. Just walking this game is just kind of fucking boring. That's like really all you can say about this game. Fortunately, I did not spend too much money on it, but again, this just kind of teaches me, yeah, some digital games is just not worth getting. Next up, we of course have Call of Duty 2. This was on my radar for quite a bit. I think it was 2023 when I first tried playing this one. Never completed until 2025. Call of Duty 2 is a really fun game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can definitely recommend it to folk who are interested in who are interested in these kinds of games. I think Infinity Ward did a wonderful job at this one, and I'm hoping that we get to see a remaster for it sometime. Next up, we of course have Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2. This is one that I probably never would have played, but this was back when Nintendo was doing gold points, and yeah, if you're like me, you're kind of hating on Nintendo right now for getting rid of those. But I had enough of these saved up. This game was on sale, and I'm like, Massacre, I'll just get this game. It's alright. It did kind of get me into superheroes again, which was pretty cool. and it's thanks to this that I picked up the Skywalker collection. But I will also definitely say these games are clearly not meant for me. I'm obviously not in complaining because it's like, well, I'm an adult. This is a kid's game. I know it doesn't really matter for some games, but this one is clearly not made for my demographic, and that's perfectly okay. Overall, the game was actually pretty fun, and I did enjoy it, and I hope that I definitely hope that there's more stuff like this in the future, just because I like the idea of it. The Last of Us Remastered. This is a fun one. Yeah, this was the first time I finished The Last of Us. This has been on my radar since like 2022. I never really played it again until 2024 because one of my girlfriends, Bethany, was super obsessed with this game. I like it. It's adorable. And the game's awesome. It's also the reason why I actually went back to complete the older Mortal Kombat's is because it was a huge fan of those too. And one of the reasons why I'm gonna try the Xenoblade series. So this was actually fun. I wasn't really expecting to really enjoy this one as much, but Resident Evil Revelations 2 kind of reminded me of it, and so it gave more determination to go back and play it. And I'm glad I did because it was a really fun game, and I am hoping that 2 is just as fun. And yes, I know about 2 and how controversial it was. And yeah, I am definitely hoping that they do continue the series as well. Then, of course, next up, we of course have Mario Kart World. This was, of course, the first Switch 2 game I played. So, yeah, the Switch was released at that point, and it was getting close to my birthday, and I picked myself up a Switch, and I picked myself up Mario Kart World. It's a fun game. I still do think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the better game, but this one wasn't so bad either, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. I thought the new tracks were pretty cool, the graphics looked good, the gameplay was fun, and a lot of the unlockables were nice too, but it's I just also feel like it could have been a bit better per se. Then of course next up we of course have Sherlock Holmes, Devil's Daughter. I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. I I kinda like mystery stuff and honestly it was kind of playing LA Noire and a few other games like this that really got me wanting to play this one. I know it's not similar to it, but it's just the whole detective stuff, it was completely fun. And I picked up a bunch of these games, and I've been looking forward to playing through more of them. I haven't finished all of them yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing through more of these. And yeah, this was generally really fun, and I recommend this one to folk. Except we of course got Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2. This was a game I heard of quite a bit. It was never really on my radar. It was just something that's just like, yeah, I know about this one. And it's not it's not a bad game. Far from it. It's not perfect, but I'd say it's enjoyable enough to really want to replay for it again. The character selection was pretty nice, the racetracks were pretty fun. I feel like there's enough for folk to really enjoy regardless of what era of Nickelodeon they grew up with. I myself grew up with the 2000s Nickelodeon, and I felt satisfied. I thought I'm like, yeah, there's plenty of really cool characters in this, and it was honestly, I don't know, it was still fun. And after that, we of course got Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3. So I really did enjoy 2 a lot, and decided that yeah, I'm just gonna go pick up 3. It took forever to unlock Jenny in this game, and I'm seriously so frustrated about that because of how long it took. But overall, the game's pretty fun. I feel about the same about it as I do with the second one. But I feel like if you grew up on Nickelodeon, or if you're watching this stuff now, I feel like you can't really go wrong with this game. If you're a fan of that network, it's definitely worth checking out this game. Then of course, next up we of course got Komitsu Baki City Ensemble. It's a rhythm game, and honestly quite fun, but really grindy. Um, yeah, this took like 40 hours to complete, which I think was like the longest a rhythm game has taken me. It's a fun game. You gotta fill up this meter to unlock more songs, and that I think really progresses the story if I recall correctly. Overall, it's a really fun game. I can't really complain too much about it because even though it was grindy, I still had a lot of fun with this one, and I do recommend this one to folk who haven't played it yet. Especially if you're looking for rhythm games to play. Next up is of course Mario Party 10. Yeah, this is kind of the start of few Mario Party stuff. This one was actually fairly fun. I know the later Mario parties are a little controversial because they kind of, I mean, you're literally just going around the board in the Gen Con. That's really it. But this one I really enjoyed. I know it's not the best, but I still did have fun. Uh, it used it used the Wii U very well. I think the motion controls were also really good too, and honestly, I hope that they eventually port this over to the Switch or so. But yeah, so moving on. Next up, we of course have Mario Kart 8. This is kind of where the whole different experience thing comes in. I feel like this is a different experience compared to Deluxe because, there's no DLC with this one. And the controls are sort of different. Also, I could just say that it's on disc, while that other one was on cartridge, but I won't. Mario Kart 8 is pretty fun. It's a step up from Mario Kart 7, but base Mario Kart 8 is just kind of, it's something. It's not a bad game. Like I would have still got this. I got this like after I got Mario Kart 8, and I'll still play it. It was a fun game. Like it's one of my favorite Wii U games, and I know if I had gone back in time and this one was still new, yeah, I definitely would have a lot more fun. And I think that's the big issue is that these games just get a lot better when you're playing with others. And unfortunately, with the Wii U multiplayer being shut down, it kind of does make it difficult for that. Unless I think you're like right next to folk. So it is just kind of sad just how that just happened. And of course, next up, we of course got another Mario Party. Mario Party 8. Again, it's the same thing with 10. I know it's a bit controversial, but I actually really did enjoy this one for the most part. Playing through the Mario Party games was actually generally really fun. It wasn't something I really expected to ever see myself doing, but hey, I don't mind. I don't mind having done that. These games are a blast. The next up, we of course got Mario Party Superstars. It's another Mario Party. I feel like the whole thought process is the exact same as the previous ones. Gameplay is just very fun. But I think the real standout for these ones are the mini games. I think that's the standout among any Mario Party. Aside from stealing all your friends' stars and just ruining that friendship. It's either that or Mario Kart that just causes friendships to fracture. But yeah, I thought Superstars was pretty fun, and I recommend it to folk. The next up, we of course got Super Mario Party Jamboree. So this is the Switch One version. I know that there is I know that there's a Switch 2 version, but um, I have not played it yet, so we're just gonna be talking about the Switch 1 version for now. It's honestly really fun. I really did like this one. Uh, a lot of these games did kind of blend together, so I kind of do forget how I feel about them at times. But I definitely would play for this one again. It was a fun experience, and I'm looking forward to the Switch 2 version. Then, of course, next up, we of course got Super Mario Party. This was another fun one. Again, it's fairly similar to the previous ones, but again, the real standouts are going to be the mini games. So I guess we'll be really moving on to another kind of surprising game, Gran Turismo Sport. This is the only Gran Turismo that I actually liked. I've tried playing. I tried playing Gran Turismo 7. I just could not get into that one. And I just think after that, I'm like, yeah, I just don't think I care much about these games. It's a fun game, a little grindy, but it was fairly fun. I did enjoy a lot of tracks. The graphics look really amazing, and I got cool steelbook. So, uh, yeah, I kind of can just say it was a fun steelbook. Next up is, of course, Ride 3. This was another fun game. Ride 3 was fairly alright. It's definitely not something I would go out of my way to get, but I did enjoy it enough to just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go play the other games. You know, they're fun. They can kind of pad out my little list. And that's all I really have to say about it. Except is of course Nickelodeon Kart Racers 1. This was alright. I I had fun. It's a fun game, but I will also definitely say 2 and 3 were a lot better. Um, I think that's really all I can say about that one. Is that the second, third were a lot better, and I still do recommend these ones if you're a huge fan of Nickelodeon, or honestly, if you just have a youngest sibling, or if you have children. I feel like they would like. I feel like they would like these games. Like they're not offensive. They're not gonna be difficult, and I feel like I feel like younger people would get more of a kick out of this rather than people my age group, unless they had grown up a lot around Nickelodeon. Then of course the final game of this list, which is shocking. I've been recording for about 53 minutes at this point. I could have been like, yeah, probably I guess I'll probably just do like 10 more. I was thinking about that, but I'm like, I I feel like I'm just gonna talk about the others at another point because I know that actually I know there's a lot of short games I'm probably gonna be talking about again. So yeah, it's probably a good thing that we're just gonna save this for next time. Not to mention I have one of my favorites coming up, but of course for now the final game of this list, Medal of Honor. This was a fun game. Medal of Honor, that was an interesting series. This is after the first. This is actually the first one I've completed. Actually, now I did play a bit of the older ones. One of the older ones. But my first exposure to the series was Medal of Honor Warfighter, and so I played this one because I found GameStop. And like, I've never played this one, and I'm actually looking for more Xbox stuff to play. It's a fun game. This kind of felt like it could have rivaled Call of Duty if EA played its cards right. I mean, could have done what Battlefield was. I mean, Battlefield generally was something that stood out uh, to Call of Duty. And technically, I could probably say Battlefield 3 could be on this list. Because it was a bit since I played it, but we'll just kind of sweep that under the rug, just like EA does with like any failures they have. Or Microsoft after, Don Matrix's little uh, spiel about the 360, or Sony admitting that maybe they shouldn't be raising the prices, or Nintendo when it comes to the game chat thing. Now that I've insulted all these big gaming companies, let's just move back to Medal of Honor. I thought this game was pretty fun. I know it's not the best, and I know compared to Call of Duty will always have a more special place in my heart, to be honest. But that's not to say that Medal of Honor is just bad. No, it's not. I just think it came out at the wrong time. I feel like if EA remade it now, I feel like it could probably garner some popularity. I mean, Battlefield 6 came back with its modern campaigns since like 2013, like 12 years without a modern campaign, because 1 and 5 were just about World War 1 and 2, and 2042 didn't even have a campaign. I feel like EA could generally do a lot with the first person shooter genre if they really tried hard enough. I mean, you guys literally got 4 FPSs, because I think they own Crysis, actually. Don't quote me on that, but I think they actually do. And they have Titanfall, and they have they have Medal of Honor too. And I just feel like they also really could have done more with those. And actually, yeah, they do own Crysis. So yeah, I feel like EA could actually have done a lot more with these games. I really do enjoy Medal of Honor. It's a really fun game, and I look forward to playing for the other ones. And I'm just sad that EA never really did anything else with that one. But of course, this is game 140. At the moment, I have 150 left. And so that means I will be doing 2 more videos. They should go by a little quicker because, well, there's a lot of fighting games that I did play, and a lot of those games are honestly really short. And it's not really going to be much to talk about. But this was a fun list. I'm actually super happy with how popular the first part had gone, and honestly, thank you all, because I know it kind of got a bit redundant, because, oh, yeah, it's just the same list, it's just getting remade again, but I had a lot of trouble really figuring out where this kind of should just, how it should be made, because, like, because, like, I would literally would just tackle, like, the first 10 games and just, like, that literally would just be it. It would just be, like, 10 games. And, yeah, I mean, I did, like, the second part. It's, like, it's at 9 minutes. I'm, like, just don't have that much to really talk about. And so it really just came to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to be doing 50. But then it really occurred to me, I'm like, I'm getting close to 50. I feel like there's a lot more I can say. And I would have done all of them in one video, but when I got to the 1 hour mark, I'm like, yeah, I want to do like 100 in each video, but I'm like, yeah, it's just not going to happen because I'm at like an hour and I literally am at 70. But this has been fun. I'm looking forward to chatting about the third part because there's a lot of really wonderful games in the next part. I'll give some insight for them real quick, but I mean, I know games like the Resistance trilogy, Aoni, When the Past Was Around, House of Ashes, I know Alistair Aegis, Pokemon Legends, Battlefield 6, Yeah, I know, and I know that these games are really just gonna be fun to talk about. And even with like part 4, I mean, it's like stuff like Black Ops 7, Mind's Eye, the Crisis trilogy, World at War Final Front, and Saints Row. And I'm just genuinely looking forward to really being able to talk about these games. It really can relive these memories. I think that's why I really do it. Is because it's fun to get to relive these memories. And I'm looking forward to chatting about the ones I completed this year. Because, well, I feel like there's been a lot of really fun games I played this year. I feel like I'm a little slower than I was last year. And maybe it's just I'm taking more time to really play these. Maybe it's just I've been getting more busy. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of stuff. But it's really just fun to really get to sit down and really talk about these games. And just how much fun they were. And it's awesome getting to see people just really just kind of listen. And I get to meet new people who might have played these games or are playing these games right now. It really makes it fun to experience. But of course, that's all I really have for today. I will be back with more videos next time. So until then, thank you all for watching. This has always been fun, and I will of course see you all later.